Welcome to the Lifestyle Overland story. I'm Kevin. This is my wife Sarah, daughters Caroline, Abigail, and our furry family member, Ace. Usually, you can find us exploring and camping in some of the most remote places in North America. But we've recently expanded our lifestyle by relocating base camp to the family farm in Tennessee. Here, we've jumped head first back into farming after 20 years of being gone. Now, surrounded by family and friends, we're expanding our mobile self-sufficiency skills to include the more stationary style of life on the farm. In the last episode, we were neck deep in prepping the garden for another growing season to provide fresh food for the kitchen and help us stock up on canned and frozen vegetables for the winter months. But no sooner than we had completed our planting, the welcome rain quickly turned from a gentle occasional watering to daily torrential downpours, making the soil a muddy, impassable mess, which gave the quickly growing weeds free rein to almost overtake our hard work. After watching helplessly week after week, the clouds finally parted and the sun shone down to dry out what had become a thick jungle of weeds. Unfortunately, we now risk damaging the good plants along with the bad by attempting to till the ground. So, we had to resort to a more manual method to give the plants some breathing room. While we had dreamed of an Instagram-worthy garden for the sake of making pretty videos, this is a real-life story. It didn't help matters that we had also been busy relocating everything from our old home in Utah to Tennessee and had missed even the slightest windows we could have used to beat back the onslaught. But after several long evenings of weed whacking, hoeing, and pulling the stubborn invaders, we had at least stemmed the tide and given our food the chance to survive. After several weeks in their warm and safe brooding cage in the barn, the young turkeys are ready to make their new home out by the garden, where they could start pecking away at the bugs and plants. My mom has been raising a few of these every year, and I can speak from experience that there is no better Thanksgiving meal than a homegrown organic gobbler. Vegetables aren't the only food source that grows in this garden. My mom also raises a couple batches of meat chickens every year to keep our freezers stocked with enough poultry to feed all the kids and grandkids. Not only are these fast-growing chickens delicious, but they're also doing us the favor of fertilizing the vacant part of the garden for next year's crops as their pen moves down the line to more fresh grass and bugs to supplement their plentiful organic feed.
Time for some fresh grass.
Oh, and yeah, they're not the most beautiful birds, but that's because their genetics are geared towards fast body growth, which can actually outpace their feathers at times, making them look a little patchy as juvenile birds. Not much to see here as these big lazy birds pretty much just eat and lay around as they soak in the sunshine and fresh air. While the rain had sent the weeds into a frenzy, it had also done the same for our plants. The tomatoes had quickly outgrown their first round of support against the woven wire fence we installed and was in need of another round of tying up to keep things untangled and easy to pick. And so, we dove in with baling twine in hand to keep things on the right track. With temps near 100 degrees Fahrenheit during the day and humidity over 90%, we were taking advantage of the marginally cooler afternoons to get the bulk of our work done. Sadly, the rapid growth wasn't good for the actual tomatoes, and the first batch would probably be subpar with all the busted skins. Hopefully, the weather would even out soon, and the next batch would be a little more pristine.
Where's the lightning bugs? Where are they? Yeah, look at them.
As the light began to fade, hundreds, if not thousands of lightning bugs began their ritualistic dance, rising from the ground to flash their miraculous backsides, creating a twinkling backdrop for our peaceful evening. This experience was something new for Abigail, and she wasn't sure what to think of these fairy-like bugs flying around. With all the moisture over the spring and early summer, flies had gone crazy, so it was time to round up the beef herd for a fresh round of fly control.
All right, Brooklyn, you scatter a little bit to her right there a little bit, and we're just going to kind of hang out here and push them, okay? Just a slow walk. Caroline, you move on up between me and Brooklyn. Just a slow crawl. Wow. All right, hold right there a minute. Hold on. A little excited, isn't she? Just stand here and let them calm down a minute. All right, just steady walk, okay? Let's go now. Come on now. Let's go. Come on, we're gonna help you. There you go, get on in there. You've already been in there once, boy. What are you doing? Let's go. Got to make that entrance, don't you?
These tags have a slow-release insecticide built in that eventually spreads across their bodies as they rub themselves and mingle through the herd, which deters swarms of flies from landing on them. Not only do flies keep them from eating as they fight them off, they can also carry diseases like pink eye, which can run through a herd in a matter of days, causing intense pain, light sensitivity, watering, and even blindness in some worst cases. This highly contagious disease has been no stranger to this farm in the past, so we're staying proactive in its prevention by giving the herd a fresh set of ear jewelry to avoid this frustration. Since most of these cows already had existing tags, the process was quick and painless as we simply cut the old ones out and slipped the new ones in through the existing piercing.
The third one down here, we're going for what's in between. You can tag them with the tag on the back of their ear, but
I think the cows almost understood the assignment. After an hour or so, we had the bulk of the herd tagged and on their way back to the pasture. While the garden was nearing its first real harvest, we had another food source that was ripe for the picking. Fresh, delicious blueberries.
Good job, just don't spill them, okay?
I have to say that next to watermelon and cantaloupe, this is probably my favorite harvest of them all. With these bushes so heavy with berries, we had to round up the whole family to help get them picked. It's moments like this, with everyone working together, that I'm so thankful for the opportunity to give our girls a farm life experience. And while there's nothing like exploring the remote wilderness of the Wild West, it's community and relationships with common goals that leave lasting impressions in these formative years.
Remember when I made those really good ones?
After a few weeks of tying up the tomatoes, production was in full swing. And even though I missed the first couple harvests while filming another adventure in Utah, this later batch was still quite the haul. Oh, and by the way, if you want to see that upcoming adventure, make sure you're subscribed.
You know, the first picking is really the bigger ones.
Right.
The larger heirloom and tiny tomato tomatoes will get eaten in the next few days as fresh toppings for hamburgers, salads, and more. But the smaller Roma tomatoes will be canned and preserved. After blanching, peeling, and slicing, they're topped with garlic and olive oil before going into the oven and getting roasted to perfection. Then, they go into the sterilized jars and are preserved on the shelf for my mom's infamous chili and soups. With no rest for the weary on the farm, the beans were calling, and no sooner than the tomatoes were finished, it was time to get picking again. The archway growing method we installed in the last farm episode gave a bit of relief from the sun all summer long, and after producing over 3 bushels from this small set of vines, they were beginning to wind down their output for the season. We're going to do our best to sneak in a late summer planting though, just as soon as these are done, to keep the fresh beans on our dinner plates as long as possible. This morning, the turkeys have graduated to free-range status after several weeks of growing in their garden-side pen has left them big enough to fend off most predators during the day while they roam the garden and barnyard. If you're not from the South, then chances are you're not familiar with this plant. This strange-looking stalk with questionably shaped leaves and slimy, prickly fruit is called okra. This plant is thought to have originated from Ethiopia and Sudan, where it eventually traveled north to ancient Egypt, where it was grown along the Nile. Then in the early 1700s, it came to America with the African slaves, who brought seeds across the Atlantic and introduced it to the southern colonies, where it became an essential ingredient in dishes like gumbo and soups, due in part to its slimy, gel-like texture, which is a natural thickener. If you can get past its strange appearance, fuzzy exterior, and slimy interior, it truly makes for an incredible side to your meals, whether it's steamed, stewed, grilled, sautéed, curried, or my personal favorite, breaded with cornmeal and fried to golden perfection. It's also incredibly healthy too, packed with fiber, vitamin C, K, folate, magnesium, and antioxidants. Just remember, it's a very fertile plant and requires picking nearly every other day in its prime. Well, weeds have been the reoccurring theme this season. So much rain, it kept us out of the garden, and then just so many other distractions with life that you miss 3 or 4 days in the garden. It doesn't take long for it to kind of turn into this. And we've already chopped these weeds back twice. You can see where he missed on the second time how big it would have been. It is wild. It is wild how fast stuff grows here. Hopefully next year we'll figure out a way to be more consistent and stay in the garden and make it a little more gram-worthy. But this year it's just functional. So we got to figure out how to chop the rest of these out of the way, because we got potatoes buried underneath these weeds that need to be dug up soon. So let's get to whacking.
All right, I think we're ready to dig potatoes now. That'll make for a lot easier process. By the way, these little guys and this little guy, couldn't do it in this heat without it. I mean, I could, but I get heat stroke again. Heat exhaustion, technically.
With the potato rows cleared of the relentless weeds, we were now ready to start digging for those delicious golden spuds. Except for one small problem. Finally, after another long soaking rain, the ground dried out enough for us to see how our potatoes had done. But we were a little worried since our small test digs hadn't brought up much by hand, and if things didn't improve, we would be relying on the grocery store for our potatoes this winter. But we were in for a surprise, and this time, it was a good one.
Potatoes! We got potatoes! Look at that. Look! Potatoes! Do you remember planting these? And now we got them. We're going to pick them up and put them in the wagon. So we can eat them. We make french fries out of those.
Oh.
Yeah. And you'll eat them?
Oh, Papa.
We'll eat them too. You gonna eat those?
No.
Yeah, we'll eat them.
We're gonna pick them up now, though.
Is that fun?
Yeah. I keep flying. I'm digging.
Some good ones.
Oh, we're gonna get this thing.
Yeah, there we go. Got that one.
Yeah.
Reach in there and grab it.
Here's our piece. I better jump this.
Good job, Abby. Hey, that's mine. Man, That looks amazing.
It's giant.
Whoa!
Oh, found another one. These potatoes are giant. Oh, tater. Tater. Love a tater. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, we could.
Our last row was a bit of a disappointment when it came to the russets. Instead of plump, Idaho-style potatoes, we found bulbous, malformed spuds.
That's a russet?
This is a russet.
Wow.
It's pitiful.
It's like that stuff on Gilligan's Island.
Chernobyl.
Oh, yeah. That'd bake in 10 minutes.
2 bites, isn't it?
Not yet.
Thankfully, this was only a small test section, so the Kennebecks would still carry us through. We're not sure if it was our timing of planting, the excessive heat and rain, or simply the wrong soil composition. We'll have to go back to the drawing board for next year's attempt. All in all, we pulled in over 200 pounds of beautiful organic potatoes, so it was still a win in our book. Now, the potatoes go to the garage, where they will harden for a few days on a breathable mat before getting sorted by size and packed away for the winter. The next evening, we were back at the potato patch again to prep for the fall garden, which would hopefully give us more fresh food until the frosts and freezes begin in a couple of months. This means I get to play with one of my favorite tools on the farm, the BCS tractor with tiller attachment.
Dolly, off.
Yes. Yes.
The next morning, we rounded up our seed and headed out to plant. Since we still had a few more weeks of summer left, we were going to try and get another round of squash and zucchini growing in hopes of some colorful additions to our dinner plates before the growing season ends. These plants like to grow in fertile mounds, or hills as we call them, with 3 to 4 plants each. Like the okra, they're also a fast and plentiful producer that will need harvesting almost every other day to keep them from getting too large, which makes them tough to eat. A good medium-sized squash or zucchini is a sweet spot for flavor and texture.
I'll put about 4 per hill.
4.
Yeah.
I'll plant them.
2, 3. Good job.
And then I'll do that one.
While we can appreciate Abigail's enthusiasm for gardening and tools, we had to take a little safety moment to explain that they're for digging and not for thwacking your cousin on the head with.
Wait, you found a potato?
Oh, baby. You don't hit people. You only put it in the ground. Look at Logan and say, sorry.
Sorry.
Don't hit people, honey.
Thankfully, we're all a little hard-headed here and got right back to work
Yeah,
after a
that's
lesson
soft.
in apologies.
No pressure on keeping it straight.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Is that straighter?
That looks great.
Good job.
Yeah, crooked rows would catch you some grief. So.
Yeah. For years.
We also planted some radishes, spinach, and Swiss chard, which will be a welcome addition to our salads once they're in full swing. We'll also circle back every other week and plant a fresh row of spinach and lettuce to keep production going as long as possible with alternating starts and finishes. With our excessive weed problem, we were trying a few different methods to help fight them from robbing the ground of nutrients. My dad found a cover crop that we hope would do the garden some good and maybe shade out some of the weeds.
So what'd you say this stuff was?
Crimson clover.
So a cover crop of some kind?
Yeah. Yeah, puts nitrogen back in the ground and beautiful to look at when it blooms.
Yeah.
The turkeys were continuing to grow and now have been joined by a fresh brood of layer hens to replace the aging birds in the main chicken coop. Egg production has nearly stopped, so these are a much needed addition to the flock as the older hens have reached retirement age. The excessive weeds from the potato area made for a rough seed bed, so I called the tiller back into action and chopped them down to size a bit more to make a nice loam for the tiny seeds to grow in.
So my face seems to have sprung a leak. I don't know what it is about being here in Tennessee. So what do you use chard for?
When it's small, I use it in salads. And a little bit bigger, I like to steam it and, with meats and things like that.
Yeah. This is the face of farming right here.
Oh, for sure.
We're not ready yet.
What's next?
Spinach.
Spinach. Y'all, I need a better audio.
What? No, go down, go down,
Listen, better. This is just the audio of your life, man.
go down.
It's supposed to be peaceful and tranquil and
Not when you garden with children. is it?
Singing hymns, planting the soil.
hey, you're wasting our water. Don't dump it out. Wait a minute. No, wait a minute. Stop.
I'm not watering your hand. I'm watering the garden.
Daddy.
Thankfully, the fall garden is less work than the spring garden, so it wasn't long before we were watering the seeds and wrapping up stage 1. Now, we wait, hope, and pray. A few days and a few rain showers later, the fall garden was off to a decent start. Cooler temperatures were also moving in as the days got ever so slightly shorter. And while summer isn't quite over yet, it's a welcome reprieve to need a hoodie this morning to ward off the chill as hints of fall hung in the air. I woke up extra early this morning with a lot on my mind about where we've been and where we're headed, so I slipped on my boots and took a meandering walk around the farm to soak in its beauty in the sunrise light as I contemplated what's next. Good morning, folks. We have finally gotten a little reprieve from these crazy temperatures and high humidity. It was a pleasant 56 degrees when I got up this morning. It's still really nice. Right now I'm trying to find our beef cows. So far, they're eluding me, and I haven't even heard them, which is not a good sign. So, spider webs. So, I'm gonna go up here and see if we can't spot them. But, there's a raccoon print. So, a recurring theme that you're gonna find in the farm series is that there's a lot of things that need to be fixed up. And the challenging part is a lot of these things are expensive to fix on a farm that doesn't make much money. So we've got to figure out some creative solutions to some of this stuff and just prioritize and do what we can do for now. But thankfully there are a lot of things where the only investment is a little bit of sweat. So we'll be cleaning up a lot of these down trees, using a lot of these cedars to make some fence posts for the fence project that we have coming up, and hopefully save quite a bit of money on the posts themselves. But used to walk this fence row almost every day as a kid with my papa, so it's nice to come out here and revisit that and take a minute to just pretend I'm back there. And that is probably a Dr. Pepper from when Papa and I built this fence right here. It's crazy. Apparently I just walked a big circle around them. And I found the seed ticks. If you're not familiar with seed ticks, they're almost invisible ticks that just come by the thousands. And they're currently crawling all over my body. So let's go take care of that. In case you haven't noticed, food is a central part of our story. Whether that's cooking a 5-star meal in the wilderness or sharing something delicious with the whole family in Tennessee. And with eating out becoming more and more expensive for less and less quality, we've come up with some creative alternatives to give our farm meals even more variety. When my longtime friend Barry at Bush Company USA offered me his extra pizza oven, I jumped at the chance to try our hand at some homemade pies with quality ingredients.
That one was even better.
And that's there. No!
These are the carbon. Trying to slice them really thin so we can throw them on the pizza.
Oh, yeah.
The sun is warm, there's a gentle breeze. All the birds are making homes inside the evergreens. The air is clear with our loved ones close. You can pick out every star without a telescope. So beautiful to see how we have changed. In time, you know, everything we've lost comes home again, and I will grab onto your arm a little stronger than we were before. I've missed your face, has it been that long? Looking forward to a fire and a sing-along. Let's stay the same as the children grow, and teach them all the simple things we thought we used to know.
That is the best tasting pizza. It just takes homemade pizza to the absolute next level, dude.
Like, forget restaurants. Turns out, this was a huge hit with everyone, and we were all ready to swear off eating pizza out ever again. So thanks again, Barry. Our first season on the farm has been off to a great start, but not without its drama and setbacks. The fertile, organic garden has been successful at growing our food, but the battle against the weeds has been a running fight. Thankfully, Our freezer and shelves were looking good for the upcoming winter season in spite of the struggle. But most importantly, our time here with family has been priceless as we catch up after having been gone for 15 years. Caroline and Abigail absolutely love playing with their cousins, grandparents, aunts, and uncles as they learn more and more about what it takes to run a farm. Being surrounded by family and friends after so many years of solo travel has been a welcome change. And while we miss the wilderness, our passion has been reignited with this new chapter of life and the fresh challenges to overcome with our expanded family team. We've still got a lot to figure out as we work through the long list of priorities and never-ending day-to-day tasks. But we've got some creative solutions in the works and some fun tricks up our sleeve as we dive in and begin the restoration and improvement process. We can't wait to show you what's next. So, y'all come back now. You hear?
I want a tiny sliver. I want the biggest sliver.
Don't come back for more. It'll be just like whenever we have. She's like, no, those are little pieces. I was like, there were four.
What do I do?
That's weeds. Solid.